What's going on, folks? And this is yet another vlog for Napalm's channel. And today's vlog is going to be about how technology changed gaming. Here's how I believe technology changed gaming, folks. It changed big views, big aspects of it. The first thing that technology changed about gaming would be the connectability and the connectivity of gaming. How did this happen? With the introduction of online gaming, which started more than likely on Windows computers or personal computers with different operating systems installed. When that was introduced, you no longer needed to go visit the person to play the game with them. Like if you wanted to play, I don't know, Miss Pac-Man, you would have to get up and go to your friend's house, even if you had the game, because you wouldn't be able to play with him unless you both were on the same console. Now, you can both be on the same server, but be on different consoles. And that changed gaming big time. Reason being, it took the connectivity out. Took the, like I said, you don't really have to be there to witness what the other person is feeling at that moment, or you might be able to chat with them. I mean, it's kind of all the same, but that was a big deal, both playing on the same system. You know, that's a big change in gaming, big time. Let's see. But yeah, online play brought a lot to the table. Another one of the biggest changes of when gaming went online would be the ability to rank. When you go up against the world, you know, with whatever game you play, it's on a much bigger scale of taking on your neighborhood, or taking on your brother and your sister, or taking on your dad, and for the highest score. Because now you're not just taking on your dad. Now you're taking on everyone on a mass spectrum, from Washington to Australia to Thailand, Tibet. People who play anywhere now, all want to see your score, and they all want to know. You can't just run around boasting no more because you got the highest score in your home. Now you have to have the highest score in the world. So that changed the spectrum too. Or it used to be like the highest score in the neighborhood, or the highest score between your brothers. Like now you have to face everybody. So that's a pretty big scale. That's a pretty big change that online brought. And another one of the biggest changes will be frame rate. Now, depending on the net code, or depending on the development of a game and how well it can be played online, how well all the graphics, all the pixels, all the input, everything can be brought to you on a disc, which is definitely possible. But how well the game plays online is a completely different situation, because now the game is being put in data form, which means the connection has to hold up a certain amount of data. And if games are so heavy to where it can barely be held up online, they work fine just straight out the box, straight locally, because the game is saved to your hard disk. So it goes to your hard disk, which is an immediate source of data. But online, the connection has to be strong. You have to be able to move a certain amount of data during a certain amount of time. So if you had like one of them, weak connections, like if you on still on millibyte connection, don't expect to hook your PlayStation 4 up. But if you plug in like a Sega Genesis, every game, or if you plug in like whatever system, you don't have to connect to the net too. And like I said, if a friend actually comes to your house, you don't have to worry about that connection speed, because it's off console. Now, like I said, you don't have to worry about that with the PS4, because there's also an online option for the PS4, for the Xbox One, for the 360, and the PS3, and every other online console. But with those, with those types of mishaps, you just never know. It could be a server issue. It could be your connection is too slow. So many different things could reason why your game is skipping. And certain games, you need precision. Like if you play like a shooting game and your crosshair is right on the headshot, and not a game pauses or stalls, or right before you land that crosshair on his dome, the whole game just freezes. It could just whack. It sucks. You don't want to just keep going through that. It's terrible. But that changed gaming too, because now there are actually practice modes that have that lag on it. So people actually get used to playing with lag and with pauses and stops in between gameplay, because it is a mode of play. And that changed gaming big. Just be able to go online. The other thing that really changed up gaming big time online would have to be the branding. Brands were so much different before online. Now they brand their games out to be, it's like a brand that's solidified, but it also expands over time. So now the branding says, here's a main core, but we also have these other brands. We also have these other, we're a brand that offers extras that you can add to your game. It's like a downloadable content. Games used to be branded as this is a straight solid, straight solid piece of art, or a straight solid, experience. What you get is what you get. Now it's more like it's a different branding. It's branded now to be geared towards the future. Like if you buy a game, you beat all of it, you get tired of it. Okay, now you can download these extra missions or these extra maps, if you beat the whole game. But these days, it's like there could be like extra characters that you can get. Like you can download more stages to a game if like I said, if you get tired of fighting on the same stage, you can download a whole nother stage, and that'll definitely work out for you. But DLC, it changes the branding, because you actually have to pay for DLC, and the way games were branded before, it was a brand of, you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get this game, and it's on there. But now, the brand is like, you can get the game, but expect some patches. You get some DLC if you want the rest of the characters. It's like it's a different way to brand the games. So online has changed that as well. Like I said, it used to be you got what you paid for, or you bought what you bought. And if there was any big glitches, they'd be like a revision of the game, but it'd be the same game. Now, if there's anything wrong with the game, you can download a patch. And some games won't even run unless you download like the updated patch, like the latest patch. Because if they, like I said, the developers find a glitch, they can then take that glitch and update it. And you won't have to go get a revision of the game. Once you download that patch to your game, you now have the updated game, and the glitch has been fixed. So that's another way that being online changed gaming big time. But technology as a whole, it just changed gaming even more than just being online, and I'm going to get to that as well. Another way technology has changed gaming are the controllers. We now have speakers on the controllers. We now have motion sensor controllers. We now have screens in the controllers. We now have shoulder buttons on the controllers. Shoulder buttons aren't such a new thing, but once upon a time, folks, there was one button on the controller, and there was a joypad. If you consider that a button, there's two buttons on one controller. That's all you needed to play any of the hundreds of thousands of games, just that one button and that one joypad. These days, folks, we have many buttons to choose from, and many games you have to use all those buttons if you want to succeed or exceed or get further in that game. You have to learn every button on the controller. So if you're coming from like the Atari age, or even like the Sega Genesis age, Super Nintendo kind of saw the future. They added shoulder buttons, but it really took off with the PlayStation adding 4 shoulder buttons, and then those trigger buttons, which actually started on the Dreamcast and on the N64. More of a trigger-like reaction on the Dreamcast, though. N64 was kind of a trigger, but it was like a flat button up under a surface. So it was built like a trigger, but it didn't have a round curve up under it. The Dreamcast was, like, if I can remember right, was the first system to ever have a kind of a finger-fitting trigger and actually felt like a trigger. Dreamcast was actually the first system to bring that. Then, of course, Microsoft took it over, put it on the Xbox 360. Now it's just trigger buttons everywhere. Even PlayStation has gone the way of the trigger. They had shoulder buttons, and then they had like the fatter buttons on the bottom, but they weren't quite triggers either. They were like reverse trigger design. But yeah, technology has changed that as well. And like I said, now you can actually move. Like if you want to play a bowling game for the Wii, you can actually swing your arm now, and swing the Wii remote with your arm as if it was a bowling ball. I mean, you don't want to let go of the Wii remote. Hundreds of people, thousands of people have done it. It's been on the news. It's all online how people have destroyed their TVs. But you can now bowl with the controllers, literally as an action of bowling. Even with the Kinect, you don't even need any remote or controllers, and you can literally use your body to do the action of bowling or shooting a ball or playing soccer, because there's a technology that actually scans your body, and now your body is kind of like the reaction to where the eye is scanning, and you literally get scanned into the game. So technology has changed the way we even play games. When before we basically just sat on the couch and just tapped at the buttons, and of course you had to be on time with those button taps. Of course, I'm not saying it didn't take skill, but now it's getting to the point where you actually have to get up off of the couch to even get started on the game, to even be able to input these commands into the game. You have to literally so that's a big change. It's just a lot of different ways gaming has changed. And one of the biggest ways that gaming has changed because of technology is because of pixels. Gaming was once kind of drawn. Gaming was once created using 8-bit pixels. Gaming was like a dot matrix kind of an art, and when these polygons came out, it changed everything. Polygon kind of changed the art style of what gaming really is. So at first, gaming was kind of like a hand-drawn experience. It was more of a art, like a canvas kind of like thing. But gaming then became how many different ways we can put these shapes together, and how many different shapes are there to fit together to make something. And it's less drawn now, it's less put together like 8-bit formula is actually quite different. But it changed it drastically, because now the worlds that we walk around in are actually built, and they're built on the 8-bit as well, on the 16-bit, but now these worlds you can actually walk into now. So see, these worlds are actually places where you can literally turn around, turn left. Like before, you didn't have that option. You can either go up or down. You can either go this way or that way. Like a Sonic game, like you either went in this direction or in that direction, or you went up or you went down. There was no turning. This aspect changed gaming forever. When you can actually turn the stages around, like in a 3D motion, like a 3D stage, that changed gaming forever. Now you can add so many more elements to games. Like a good example would be, look at Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for the Sega Genesis, and then look at Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. If you have those two games, or if you're on YouTube, if you want to see a good example of what I mean by technology changed gaming, look at Sonic the Hedgehog 1 through 3, or Sonic the Hedgehog 1 through Sonic and Knuckles. Any of those games will do. Look at like the first stage of gameplay, like the engine of it, how you can move in this direction, up or down, and you'll see what I mean. After you watch that, look up Sonic Adventure 1 or 2, or any new gen Sonic game, and you can actually bend and twist and Like that aspect changed gaming forever. Now gaming is like more of a playground. It's more of a sandbox. It's more of a world now. And gaming didn't used to be like that. Gaming used to be a few directions. Like you see, like the old school gaming was you see the world and you can move in it, But the way tech changed it is like now the world is an open door. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to explore that little box anymore. It's like now it's open to you because of what polygons did for gaming, and it enhances the experience dramatically because, like I said, now you're in those worlds and you don't just view them. I think I'm gonna come up with one more, and then I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna do another vlog on it. Another way I think technology really changed gaming is media. Gaming has become pretty much just another media. It didn't used to be considered that once upon a time. Gaming had its own niche. Gaming wasn't in the same conversation as movies. Gaming wasn't in the same conversation as TV shows, TV. Gaming wasn't in the same conversation as music. Gaming had its own niche, but now that gaming is a part of the whole media bundle, it's changed up. Like I said, now it's just another part of the set top box. It's just another part of your home theater now. Like if you get a TV, some speakers, some surround sound, it come with an Xbox or it come with a PlayStation 4. It's a part of it. But gaming didn't used to be like that. Gaming was like the comic book of the media world, or like gaming was like the magic cards of the media world. It was considered like a nerd or a geek, or not even that. It was just considered a hobby. I don't want to stereotype it. It was just considered like a hobby. It was like a board game. You pull out your Sega once a month, pull out your Super Nintendo, you play some games, put up. But now, gaming is like a lifestyle now. It's like everybody's constantly online. There's Twitch. So all those people who took it seriously back before it was a media, all those people who nerded out over it. Like if you had like friends who were really into games and you would get together and play your game, and there wasn't online or nothing like that. Like if you're still that passionate about it now, you have a wide ocean of fan base to explore, full of those kind of people now who really are diehard fans of Tekken. Like thousands of people go to Tekken tournaments. So that's how being online and just technology changed gaming. It opened up kind of a social base for gamers. And it didn't really used to be like that. Like I said, it used to be small groups, or it'd be like little game tournaments locally. But now there's like full blown, televised game tournaments, folks. Like you get trophies and everything. It's like the Super Bowl now. Street Fighter tournament, Tekken, Madden tournament. So yeah, that media, technology, online changed gaming, and this is where I'm gonna leave it, folks. So that's just a little bit of what I feel about it. I don't want to leave a bad taste in anybody's mouth, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I like today's gaming, and the reason why I like it is because it's a different pace than what gaming used to be. Gaming can't stay the same. You can't always expect something nostalgic. The developers don't have to always give an ode to the old school, or the developer don't have to always remember the way gaming was to make a game. That's how we come up with new concepts in gaming. That's how we run across new ideas. We take what we hate and then we tweak it and we make it into something that we like. But you wouldn't have tweaked it. You wouldn't have came up with something if you didn't see something that you hated first. And that's kind of what like this new generation of gaming is about. It's like it's a lot of different ideas, a lot of different jumbled up stuff. Like this game's graphics is great, the gameplay sucks. This game has great gameplay, the graphics stink. Man, this game would be great if it was 60 frames per second and still choppy and slow. Okay, on this game, the walking and running and fighting is cool, but the driving aspect is a little blocky. That's, it's like we in that phase where we trying to revamp gaming into something that's virtual reality. We're trying to revamp gaming into something that's actually moving now. It's like now you can actually get up and move. You can form a crossbow with your two motion controllers. You can form a jump shot with your two motion controllers. You can actually do new things with gaming now. Whereas you know, gaming it's more of a it's more of a inviting activity now than it used to be. Gaming used to be, oh, are you into games? You know, do you really love games? Now gaming is more like, yo, let's go back and play some 2K. You know, yo, let's I don't know, shoot a couple around, throw a couple footballs. Gaming didn't used to be like that. Now it's like gaming is access for anybody. Anybody can get it now, and it's good because now gamers don't have to hide. Now gamers can be out in the open. With I'm a gamer or whatever, which is good. But I know my explanations can go everywhere sometimes, so I'm not trying to bore y'all to death. But I just wanted to get that out. I in no way, I'm not an old school gamer fanboy. I'm not a new school gamer fanboy. I just love gaming, period. But I like to pay attention to the differences because I remember, like I said, the Atari 7800, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. I remember these systems, and I remember the reactions, and I remember kind of the way things went, the way business went in those days, and it's different. And I find it interesting how different it is, but it's still gaming. It's crazy. So see more videos, expect more videos about that. Once again, I know my explanations can be scattered everywhere, but if you sit through them and you kind of hear me out, I think you would definitely see at least one point I tried to make, or see one thing I was talking about. But anyway, hit the subscribe button. I do different topics every so often. I just recently did a Mazda vlog, which I'm still working on the car. I'm still getting used to riding the skateboards, which is the Quest and the Airwalk board. My Elevate board is pretty busted that I had from a long time ago. On the employment front, I'm still doing that office cleaning gig, so I'm still getting a few hours. And expect a personal blog here soon. So, alright guys, like I said, if you got any favorite game systems or any favorite game period that you just cannot put down, or any games you remember, or any systems that you want to hear me talk about, or you want to talk about, leave them in the comments. And I'll catch you guys on the next vlog. Peace.